Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Master amongst hammer sages, the king of the ring himself. But your boy Thicky Smalls, Gerard Michaels in the house. Well done. Handled well.
That was beautiful.
Welcome back, Gas Digital. It's Saturday at 2 o'clock. You know what time that is. That is time for Slick and Thick. And here we are coming to you from the beautiful Boca Raton, Florida, in this great country of America. It is your boy, Gerard Michaels, wishing you a happy Saturday. And to my right, as always, my co-host through this wonderful experience, the man, the myth, the legend, at 6'3", 200 pounds, and every one of them is a problem. The CEO of the RNC, the master of punks, the tamer of sages, the king of the ring himself, Slick Mick the ruler, Mickey Gall, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, what up, Big G?
Hanging.
All right, today we got a great guest. He's been demanded not only by the fans, but by our producer, Christian, in particular.
Yep.
It's been heavily requested. A friend of mine that I've known since we were both teenagers, none other than the UFC's silent assassin, Vicente Luque. Welcome, Vicente.
Luque.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Welcome, brother.
It's been a while that I had to come here, and yeah, now we're here. It's
Long time coming.
Yes.
We're gonna have the silent assassin is gonna speak.
Yeah,
we're gonna get to hear from the silent assassin.
I do talk. When I'm not assassinating people, I'm talking.
Yeah.
Just when I gotta do business, then I go quiet.
Yeah, about that business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you've always been like that. You've always been a little quiet, but you like people don't know. Like you're like a funny guy. You like to talk. But yeah, you handle your business. Nicest guy in the world too.
Thanks, man. Hey, I appreciate it. And yeah, it's crazy. Like how long it's been, and especially knowing you back in the day in Jersey, and even before we were in the UFC.
I know.
It's nice to see how far we've come.
Isn't it crazy?
It's crazy.
And as people can tell from your accent, you are from Westfield, New Jersey. That's the well-known.
That's how everyone sounds.
That's the well-known West.
Close. Long Hill. That's where his pops lives.
I was born in Westwood, New Jersey.
Oh, look at G did his homework and just fucked it up a little bit.
A little bit.
Messed it up a little bit.
All right.
Close.
Good thing is it's being recorded. So from the top, everybody back to places one.
But yeah, so you were born in Jersey.
Yeah, born in Jersey. My dad is Chilean. My mom is Brazilian. And I moved with my mom to Brazil when I was about 7 years old. And then I grew up most of my life in Brazil. But I would visit my dad at least once a year, usually in winter. And yeah, in Jersey, he still lives there. He lives in Long Hill. Yeah.
No, I remember. If he had stayed in Long Hill with his pops, we would have went to high school together.
Get out of here.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Wow.
Yeah, that would have been pretty sick.
You would have had to deal with Mickey, cheating on the football field all the time, pinching guys under the line.
Facts. That's true.
What's it like growing up in Brazil then? Is it the high school very different down there than it is up here? You were going back and forth?
Yeah, I mean, I never studied here. I always studied in Brazil, and I think it's really different. Like from what I've seen, from what I've heard, the biggest difference is we don't have sports like they got here. Everybody.
The high schools don't have sports.
Yeah, the high schools we have physical education one day a week, and usually we play soccer. We just go and ask the teacher, "Hey, let us play soccer," and he says, "Okay, do whatever you guys want to," and then we don't really do any sports on the school, and it's not a big thing. You could get scholarships and things like that. So that's really different. And the way I got to sports was my mom is a black belt in karate. My dad played rugby all his life until he was 43 years old. So kind of I had, always I was taught you have to do some sport. Whatever it is, I don't care what you're going to do, but you're going to do one sport just to keep, doing it because it's important. And yeah, thank God I did it. Good that my parents were there telling me to do that because now it's how I pay the bills.
Wow, that's very interesting. So it's like a club. It's more like a club sport type of a deal over there. You join your own club then?
Yeah. And the biggest sport there is soccer. So everybody
Jogo Bonita?
Yeah, everybody plays soccer. The thing is you could play soccer anywhere in the street, in dirt, and whatever. So that's why it's a big sport there. Everybody plays it, and everybody wants to be a soccer player. So most of the talent, the young talent, learns in the street. Then they try out for one of the big teams, and then the big teams recruit like teenagers, maybe 12, 11, like even younger sometimes, and they'll recruit them, have them like living.
You're talking
in
about
the
like
team.
Manchester United and people like that.
No. I'm talking about Brazilian teams.
So
like
the
from
Brazilian,
the-
so the
yeah,
pro
yeah, yeah.
teams recruit kids at 12, 11?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then many of these kids, like some are gonna make it pro in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
The best of them are gonna be sold to Europe much before they even reach pro in Brazil.
Well, the more things change. Well, you were going to say something before I asked that question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I was gonna say that give the origin of me and Vicente's friendship was I think we were both like 18 or 19, and we were both training. You were coming down in the summer to come stay with your dad, and you were training at AMA Fight Club, which is the gym owned by Mike Constantino.
Oh, cool.
Shout out to Mike, who he's been on the podcast.
Nice,
and,
nice, yeah.
But yeah,
Great
we were
guy.
training there in a room with like, man, who we had Jim Miller, Dan Miller, Rafaelo Oliveira.
Yeah, he was there. He
Hoppy
was there.
We had like Jamie Varner, Adlan Amagov, bunch of Charlie Brenneman, bunch of studs. Bunch of studs have been there.
I went there, I think, like in 2 different like times. So I went there that first time we met, and I was there, I think, 40 days.
Okay.
And then the next summer, I think the next summer I went there again
Yeah.
for another 40 days. And yeah, I got to train with Dan Miller, Jim Miller, with you. That's when we met. And that's what's crazy. Like,
I don't
like,
even think I had amateur fights at that point.
you had no amateur fights. Like,
Yeah.
I watched your first your first amateur fight. I remember you posting something about it, and I think I was text you or something, sent you a message like, yeah, man, that's nice. You're gonna get into it, because like back in the day when we met, like I had a few pro fights, and then you wanted to go start your amateur career and then go pro, but we were so far from the UFC at that point.
So
And
far.
But at the same time, like the talks we had, we kind of felt that like we knew we were gonna be here.
Yeah.
We knew we were gonna work our way, and whatever it cost, we're gonna do what we needed to do to get here.
100%. 100%.
What-
Yeah. Now, don't you have the most Darces in the U.S. in the division?
Yeah, there are 4, but like it doesn't sound like much.
It seems
but
no, it's a
yeah.
lot though. It's a specific.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
specific move.
Uh-oh.
That was
Yeah,
what
The
happened.
Dar-
oh,
Darce.
UFC.
Yeah, there we got some
Yeah.
Vicente action right here.
So
Real quick. I don't know if I should be insulted that I'm not Christian's favorite UFC fighter in the room right now.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I'm not like
this
it's
is
true.
A nice Darce,
it is what it is. I'm not his favorite UFC fighter in the room right now, and does it hurt me? Sure, but
I
if
still
there was
love you,
anyone,
though.
if there was, oh thanks, pal. If there was anyone that it wasn't said, and you know the first time you said that, I was like, you picked a great one, like you picked the right one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I didn't even like bring you up. He brought you up. It was like,
Nice.
oh, do you know Vicente Luque is my favorite? Like, isn't that
Nice.
fucking cool?
I never
Yeah,
said
that's
that. I
awesome.
never
So I
said that. I
think-
never
I think
said
you-
that. I don't
yes,
know what
you
he's
did.
talking
No,
about.
you
Why
You have to say it, man.
Man, you give him his flowers. Now Ben, we're gonna show the video for Vicente. I choked Ben out on the
Okay.
podcast.
Yeah, I
and
wanna see
it's-
that.
It's gotten like millions of views
with the rear
crazy.
naked choke.
with the
That's
rear naked
crazy.
choke.
And you,
So I was
know how
thinking
that
maybe
choke
The
maybe
Darce
you,
choke.
maybe you
Yeah,
left hook.
yeah.
so I'm just saying, man.
Maybe you throw a left hook at Christian. I don't know. I think Ben's done his part. Maybe it's Christian.
I think
Maybe
it's
a
a
body
Darce.
shot.
I think
Maybe a
it's a
body
fighter.
shot.
Maybe
think
a
it's a
Darce. We could
body
do the
shot.
How about
Darce.
the Darce? How
Darce
about
or
the
body
I don't
Darce?
want to go to sleep, bro.
No,
How about a
I
body
would
shot?
say, I think the Darce feels better. But if you want a body shot, we could do the body shot.
Live-
It's gonna feel
I'll
worse.
do a
I
body
know
shot.
it. I know it from experience. It's
you're
gonna
gonna
feel
dislike
worse.
that. I think
Yeah,
a little
so-
more
so
I'm
about.
taking body shots. I'm 2-0 amateur. Come on, man.
So the people,
You heard that resume over here?
heard that? 2-0
1-0 in boxing,
amateur.
2-0 in MMA.
Oh,
3-0
Okay,
combined.
okay,
That,
okay.
that reminds me.
If he boxes,
Oh,
what
no,
a-
please
what a
I don't know
body
if you
shot
guys
is
have
like.
ever-
Please, oh no! Oh,
my
Vicente,
God.
don't look, don't look at it. Don't. He's gonna,
Yeah, look, this
he's gonna
was-
start bragging about
is,
his fucking.
I think I was a white belt when I got this one. This is a Boston Open.
You look like a fucking asshole.
This is, I wear these to bed.
Oh,
every
dude, is
night.
that Grappler's
That's
Quest?
a Grappler's Quest, and then this one I'm really proud of. This is a Pan Am.
So G gets it. He's a fighter too.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he's
Yes.
saying. He's like, you know what I mean?
We're all fighters here.
We're all fighters.
We're all
These,
fighters.
these civilians, they just, am I right, guys? Yeah.
You look like such a fucking asshole.
Oh, look at this.
You look like such a prick.
It's whipped cream.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
it's so good.
Oh, look, he's got his trophies and he gets his reward.
It's like a reward.
And it's crazy because MMA, we don't get trophies or medals.
No.
Yeah,
We
because you're not good
like,
enough.
yeah.
No, well, I mean, you gotta pay to get in there. You know what I mean? They might as well give you a piece of hardware.
Yeah, that is true.
No, please keep him on now.
No,
Please
no,
keep
no.
him on
I'm
now.
gonna let him feel what it's like to be, great.
Oh wow.
There you go. You want here? That's for you, buddy.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Wow, what an
You don't
honor.
just give those to
I'll
anybody, friends.
What an
I'll look at it.
honor.
I'll look at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I got the video of Ben here if we want to.
Yeah, let's show.
wanna
Let's show.
check that
Oh
out.
yeah,
check
let's
this out.
check that out.
All right, here goes.
Bicep is gonna cut off this carotid, and my forearm's gonna cut off this carotid artery, right? And I'm gonna put the hand behind his head, and then I'm gonna start to squeeze, right? So I just applying a little bit of pressure, and I start to squeeze here.
Tap out, Ben. Tap out, Ben. Tap out, Ben. Ben, tap out. Tap out. Tap out. Tap out.
Is
Tap out.
sleeping. Yeah, I'm not choking him. I'm just holding him.
He's awake.
No, he's not. He's coming back.
That was one of the craziest man jokes I've ever seen. Yeah. And then he can't
Now I'm gonna
remember
have my
anything.
bicep. He's gonna cut off this.
My favorite part
He's
about
so
that.
adorable.
Ben didn't tap.
Whoa.
Ben didn't tap.
No, he
there
he
you go.
remained calm during the whole thing.
He did good, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, and he's a stud. He's like
Good-
the
good
balls
work, man.
and the vulnerability it takes to be like,
Yeah.
choke me out on camera in front of millions of people have seen that shit.
We gave him a mushroom brownie before the episode. He just didn't know it. He was like, "Hey, we got these really cool cookies." Yeah. The funniest part about that though, if you could pull that back up, Christian. The funniest part about that is read some of the comments of everybody critiquing Mickey's form and what he's doing
Oh
wrong.
yeah. People tell me I did the choke wrong.
Everybody
Your
is.
form sucks. Align your
You
elbow
gotta
with
ask
the
them if
chin.
they have any
There you go.
medals.
There you go.
Yeah.
Any medals to
It was
judge.
all me. It was me. Like
Okay,
15
okay,
burner
Here,
accounts.
gee, this is my favorite one. The guy who keeps saying tap out, tap out. Well, after dude was slept, clearly lacks experience with this sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's very true. I've never been.
Shin is
I've never
supposed to
tapped
be
out.
in the crease of the elbow. Elbow should be below.
Yeah,
This guy
these are
left like two
dorks. Like
paragraphs.
if you watch how like anyone high level like chokes, like it's yes it looks like that, but I actually fuck it. I'm not explaining to these people. I'm not explaining to
Explain
these
it.
people.
Explain it.
I'm not gonna. They couldn't understand the sensitivity and the feeling that I have, the way that I know I can. I'm like a fucking canine or I'm like a fucking big cat where I can sense with my canines where the fucking arteries are. And I could just put it right there. Anyway, if I was barely squeezing them, but if I squeeze them hard, and it doesn't, they're like, oh, it's not. You're supposed to be able to
I
breathe.
don't know if felines have canines.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that. I think the reason they're called
Google it.
canines is either we
We
share-
have we have canines,
Yeah, we do.
but we're not canines either.
Wait,
Guys,
But cats have canines.
yes, they got their big
Okay.
teeth and they fucking sense where the jugular is and they bite that shit.
They should be called felines and them.
That's very true. He makes a good point.
I can't argue with that. There's a lot of.
What did you think of the technique there, Vicente? What did you think of the technique? Be
Man,
honest. Be honest.
I don't have the record for rear naked, so I cannot judge.
That's
He's
fair.
the one that does more rear naked chokes than I do. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got 9 chokes in the division between us.
Wow. But you love the Darce, huh?
the Dars and Anaconda as well, but
Mm-hmm.
the Anaconda, like, it's harder to get to. I have one in the UFC.
What are your thoughts on jiu-jitsu not being real, just stand up?
Oh my God. Again?
I'm just asking. As a jiu-jitsu practitioner from Brazil, the idea of the whole like Derek Lewis methodology of no jiu-jitsu, just stand up. Have you seen that? First of all, you know what we're talking about
Yeah.
or no? This whole like thing online.
No, like I don't know if I specifically know what that, but I kind of like get the idea, and I have an appreciation for it, just for the sense like I love striking, and I would love like some fights. I would love to see UFC with strikers only rules, like you can only
Really?
strike. I would love to see that, but not like it could be
kickboxing?
parallel. Yeah, kind of like ONE FC does it. You know,
Yeah, like the kickboxing
small
and the little gloves.
and,
Yeah.
and Muay Thai or whatever. It could be Muay Thai
Gotcha.
rules because then you can throw elbows.
Elbows,
Yeah,
knees.
so like there's this, it's like a meme. It's like a meme that
Yeah.
the internet does. Like jiu-jitsu's not real, just stand up.
Okay.
And it's like, you know.
But in Brazil, we have
I
a
like
saying-
it makes Mickey very mad.
It doesn't make me mad. It was funny the first time we did it on the last episode. Why are you bringing it up
in
again?
Brazil,
Because that episode is coming out after this episode. Keep up.
Whatever.
in Brazil, there is a saying that like it's called jiu-jitsu salva. So jiu-jitsu saves, Why? Because there is a whole bunch of videos where guys are getting their ass whooped and they pull out a jiu-jitsu move and win the
They
fight.
throw up
Like
a triangle.
yeah, Nogueira brothers have been,
Well,
especially like Big Nog. He has
That
been
was the
legendary
most
for that.
amazing. That was all I ever needed to know about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when Bob Sapp was beating his head into the ground and then he ripped his arm off. I mean, that
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
that was
it.
as a kid, that was
Jiu-jitsu
the most
saves.
amazing thing.
Yeah, fucking A. Yeah.
Christian, can you pull that
Chael-
clip up? Bob
Chael
Sapp and
Sonnen,
Nogueira?
Chael Sonnen, Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
He lost 24 minutes of that 25-minute fight, and then he landed the triangle at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, that's the best fight of Sonnen's career. I feel like that's got to be so disheartening. You went with one of the greatest fighters of all time, and like you said, you won 24 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oof,
That's
hang with
tough.
him. We got, we don't need to watch the whole thing, but these
are highlights.
Yeah, these are highlights. Look at Bob Sapp.
That's crazy.
For people that don't know who Bob Sapp was, the NFL really doesn't care about steroids, and this guy took so many of them, he got kicked out of the league.
Yeah.
So he was a lineman with Washington. He's like 6'7", I think 350 pounds here with abs. That's Nogueira. He just picked up and
Slammed on his
tombstone
head.
pile drived in real life.
Going for another
Multiple
one.
times, yeah.
Look at the size of Bob Sapp.
And yeah, you described him right. Like he's got abs and like riblets on him. Like he's huge. What do you think? He's 350?
I think in this fight he was 350 pounds.
Look at that. Look at the jiu-jitsu.
That was slick.
And Nogueira's probably like 245, something like that.
Well, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Nogueira's a massive human being, and look at him compared to Sapp.
Yeah.
I mean, you catch one of these things, and this is Bob Sapp's had a very weird career because he's kind of been, he's been accused of throwing fights and doing so people I don't think realize this was him when he was legitimately
In
trying
his
to
prime.
be a fighter. Yeah. And
Hey, he's great in the longest yard too.
oh, he's phenomenal in the longest yard. He's very funny.
I broke a did joke.
But you gotta just go to the very end, man, because that fight, Bob Sapp hammers Nogueira's face. He just hammers him. He's
The fight was
bloodied and
lost already.
bleeding.
Yeah.
And then he had tried a couple times for the armbar, and Sapp actually curled out of it at 240 pounds. And then at the end, I think he broke Sapp's arm, if I remember correctly. And then, in a twist of fate, he doesn't tap with Frank Mir. And sheesh.
Yes, that's crazy. That arm break was nasty.
Nogueira brothers, one of your heroes.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like Big Nog. I know him personally a lot because now he works with the UFC in Brazil. He's
Jiu-Jitsu
kind of like an
Salve.
ambassador. Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu Salve. That's it. And he's kind of he is an ambassador for the UFC in Brazil. So he's always in touch with all the athletes from Brazil in the UFC. And in Uruguay, in Chile, I traveled and I was there a couple of days doing, a lot of kind of meet and greets in the gyms and stuff, promoting the fights before the UFC went there. And then I got to hang out a lot with Big Nog, and he is, man, amazing person. Like, he understands the sport and really kind of looks after the fighters and the athletes and make sure, that we're taken care of in the sense sometimes we just want to fight. We just want to come here, have fun, and do this. But we're going to get old at some point. We're going to, we got to think about that. Not often, but at some point. And that's what I think that he has been helping a lot of guys in Brazil. And even talking to me, he kind of opened my eyes to, hey, now you still have maybe 10 more years to fight. And that's great. And you got to give it your all. But little by little, go planting little seeds on other things that you could do afterwards, because hey, you're going to be 40, 45. Hopefully you're still going to have a long life ahead of you, and you still have, to pay your bills and do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's like you have to have tunnel vision. This is what we're doing now, but we're intelligent enough to know we're not going to do this our whole life. We can't fight forever. Probably by 45, we're going to have to probably figure out some other shit to do.
Your team is very important then, because this way you can have the tunnel vision you need to have. But then, it's such a sad story. You hear about it in baseball. You hear about guys get with the wrong agent. It happens to South American guys, Dominican guys a lot, and they get done, and the agent's like, well, have a good one. Well, where's all my money? Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's gone? I mean, it happens here too. Tiki Barber tried to make a comeback after a bad divorce. It's It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's pretty wild what happens with these guys. But I mean, there's not weird. I want to say there's really good opportunities for growth in your sport that I don't think are in other sports. Mickey was just down in Colombia, and I was shocked watching how good those fighters were.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's entire regions of the world that haven't even been, open to your sport.
Speaking of which, looks like we're going to be going back October 14th.
Empire MMA.
And we're gonna be out there. We're gonna be doing the podcast live from Colombia. We got a little setup. We're gonna have our boy El Patron on.
El Patron.
Probably get Ben the Bane Davis on. We'll have our boys out there. It's fun.
I'm gonna go and translate to Spanish.
You gonna come and help?
Translate.
Let's go, baby.
That'd be great.
Let's go.
That'd be phenomenal.
I need you out there.
Sorry, Para, you're out.
Yeah.
You got
El Patron. He translated the whole Want You Heal. Really good fighter, bro. You'll hopefully I want to get him down to Kill Cliff at some point. He's a stud. He's got style. He's bilingual. He translated the whole seminar I did down there. So it was awesome. But yeah, we'll get him on the pod, and hopefully we'll get him at Kill Cliff soon.
But it is such a growth potential, your sport. Like you were saying before, soccer. It's a ball. You can play it anywhere, get some people together, and you pretty much understand it. Football is cultural. You have to really grow up in America to kind of get it, right? Yeah. You play rugby or Australian rules. Though they're very, very cultural. Baseball, very cultural. Cricket, very cultural. Fighting, everybody's throwing hands. Everybody kicks. Like, you can do this all across the world. And you've really only been a professional, high-level professional sport for, 30 years?
Yeah.
I mean, the growth of your sport over the next 100 years could be bigger than almost any of the other ones.
And it already, it's huge. That's the thing. Everybody, as you said, fighting is something that everybody does. It's not only a sport, but everybody fights. Mm-hmm. That's just in our DNA. That's just what we do. That's just one of the things we're born with is the ability to fight. Sometimes some of us are good, some aren't as good as others.
The only reason we're all here is because one of our ancestors had to kick some fucking ass and keep the bloodline alive. Everybody, probably several of them. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's in our DNA.
Sure.
That fighter gene.
Yeah. And I think that's what kind of draw most of people into the sport, especially because there's a big thing about violence, not good, violence is not good and this and that, but that lives in everybody. Mm-hmm. And the UFC and fighting sports is where I think that a lot of people get kind of okay, that part of them satisfied, okay, at least I watched this and kind of deal with whatever that I think that is judged badly, violence is bad or whatever. And on the other side, we get to show everybody that, hey, we do this as pros, we do this at a high level, and we show everybody that this is part of life. How many people I know have nothing to do with MMA and don't fight, but have been their lives have been changed because of fighting and martial arts.
Well, this is
and all that.
This is where you have to. I really think you have to give the Gracies in particular their flowers, because when the UFC was first getting started, UFC 1, 2, 3, every media apparatus was against this. This is human cockfighting. This is blood sport. They're ex-felons in there. And then they won, and they won with such class. They won with such grace, such dignity. They talked about the martial artist. And then now people saw, wait, these are not just badasses. These are marketable athletes. The same way you can market this person the same way you can market a football player, the same way you can market a baseball player. We can sell Venom. We can sell Reebok with these guys. Yeah. And that's a massively important thing on the other side of it. I mean, that's, and again, when you're looking at growth for a sport, when you're looking at it from a business perspective, and you're taking, now you have almost that idea. You guys are all in great shape. You're young. Now guys are getting really good on the mic on top of it. It's a really compelling entertainment now. It's not just about the original attraction was karate going to beat judo? Is judo going to beat a street fighter? Now everybody kind of has similar disciplines, would you say, Mick? Or
you have to have a little bit of all of it. You have to actually be kind of world class in each area. Mm-hmm. But else you're going to get exposed somewhere.
It used to, even the old cliche from a civilian's perspective used to be styles make fights, right? But now, everybody can kind of grapple. Everybody can kind of
but styles do make fights still, because you can't. That's one of the beauties of it is you can't. It's hard to be world class in one discipline, or you have to be world class in each, or you at least have to find spots where you can be. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? To
Yeah,
you?
or I guess you'd have to be really good at forcing your will to move the fight where you want it
Exactly.
to go.
Being able to have a system that you can funnel the fight into the spots where you're superior.
Yeah, so like,
know?
I don't know, but like Khabib never strikes me as a world-class striker, but he was always able to get the fight where he wanted it to go.
Yeah.
Yes, he had enough of it to be able to enforce his game plan.
And I think it's like what Mickey said, like you gotta bring the fight to what you are good at. And even like if you watch Khabib and when he fought McGregor, I think at third round or fourth round, I don't remember, but he actually knocked down Conor McGregor in the striking. Why? But because before that, he already had wrestled, tired him out, made him think about those shots. And when he threw the overhand, McGregor went with his hands down.
Yeah, big
asked to
level
defend.
change,
Yeah,
made
big
him
level
look down.
change. Clean shot. So that's the thing. Like he's not. I don't think he's close up like striking level with McGregor, but he was the one that knocked down McGregor. So because he brought the fight to his tools, and that's something that is really hard. And I think that's like where the higher level fighters are at, is realizing what they're good at, where they should be fighting, and also realizing where they're not good at and they shouldn't go over there.
Interesting.
Let's bring the fight this way.
Interesting. We used to, in baseball, we had guys there was like two different sets of guys, pitchers specifically. They always wanted to either pitch to the hitter's weakness. This guy can't hit breaking balls. I'm going to throw breaking balls. Or they always wanted to pitch to their strength. I don't care. He can't hit breaking balls. I'm not getting beat on my second best pitch. So, I mean, as a fighter, when you're going in and you're looking at that from that perspective, is it more about exploiting your opponent's weaknesses, or is it more about if our strengths match, whatever? Let's see let's let the chips fall where they may.
I think it's a mix.
Yeah, I would say it's probably a fight-to-fight basis, person-to-person basis. You know,
Because I think like the second one that you said, like, hey, I don't care. I'm gonna, like, if you have a strength and that guy is good at it too. Like, I'm a great striker and I'm gonna fight another good striker. Like when I fought Thompson, I didn't take that fight to the ground, not one single moment. And like I had it in my mind, I wanted to beat him in striking because I'm a striker myself. He was better than me that night. And like even though I think that I could have beat him, like if I adjusted one thing or another thing, I lost that fight. What should I have done at that point? I am a better grappler than him. And in paper, like I know that. I am a better grappler
you were
than
chewing
him.
him up with leg kicks early too.
Yeah, but if I had mixed up some grappling into it a little bit, at the end I could have been the winner and the better striker, because maybe I would get him tired. And then my striking would overcome his movement and everything. So that's where you really have to have a balance in, yeah, I'm going to do what I'm good at. I don't care what the guy is doing, but also realizing, okay, but he has like this flaw where I'm good at too. Maybe I can exploit that a little bit.
What's your corner's role in that, guys? What's your corner's role in helping that kind of adjustment in fight?
And I think it's a lot about how you're connected to your corner, and each one has a different, like in Killcliff we have Henry, we have Greg. Like these two, they are the guys that I've been working for the longest, since the Black Zillion days. And like they're different because one is a striker, like Henry is full, kickboxing back in the days, like pure K1 level kickboxing. And Greg is a great wrestler, like a legend, Hall of Famer here, in wrestling. So they have different looks of it. So what I see is they can give me the input of what they see out of their area. So let's see, I'm fighting RDA now. Like there are several things that RDA does in striking that Henry comes to me and can point me out this and that. You could explore this because Henry knows my tools as well. So that's really important. Like Henry knows the difference between, let's say, me and Mickey as strikers. So if I'm gonna fight RDA or Mickey's gonna fight RDA, Henry's not gonna do the same thing for both of us because we have different weapons. He's taller than me and he can exploit things different than I can. The same is gonna happen in wrestling. Like he is much more used to wrestling than I am. So maybe he's gonna, shoot more for takedowns, and Greg's gonna say, hey, you could shoot 5 takedowns in a round because I know that you could do it. Now Vicente, maybe he should shoot 1 or 2 so that he doesn't wear out his legs and then he cannot kick anymore. So there's a lot that comes into it, and I think that's what like high level coaches can really start looking at each fighter as one individual and try to extract the best out of him.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I think not just in the corner, but as a coach, like you don't want to change a fighter so much. Like you don't want to put a saddle on a Mustang. You know what I mean? When they come to you and they have like their gifts, you want to just enhance those things. But I think from the corner, it's like a great second set of eyes, second opinion. Because there's going to be stuff that they're seeing that you're not seeing just because you're in the fucking shit. You're locked in and you got your tunnel vision. You're trying to be in that flow state where you're just seeing, reacting. You know what I mean? You're not sitting there thinking, I wonder, blah, 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 blah. You know, you're not.
That'll make you a step slow, maybe.
Yes, it can if you're thinking too much. So you kind of leave the thinking to them, leave the reacting to you. So they can give you advice. There's times like we talked about with Jim Miller. He says he's barely heard his corner his whole career.
Yeah.
You know, and there's definitely times where your corner.
He's like, I'm not even paying attention.
That's why when I corner people, I'm giving like I've heard people try and like be like do this, like just running off a million things. I know the guy's not hearing that. I've grabbed them if I'm in the corner and I'm like stop, stop, like. He's not hearing this, you know what I mean? But if there's something where it's like. But
the corner means well.
Of course the corner means well.
Yeah, they mean well.
Of course. Most corners mean well. Sometimes some corners might just want to see like the boxing coach might be like, throw this, and then the wrestling coach is like, take him down.
Ooh.
That shit happens because they want to see their own shit get played out.
Oh, wow.
That's absolutely.
Really?
It's ego, and but yeah, that happens. It's a
and
part
now
of
they
men.
know the cameras are on. I'm listening to them too. I get it. I bet it's even worse these days. You know,
That's
it shouldn't
thing
at the high
about
level.
Sport being new, you know, that still happens. Like I feel like other sports that have been there for longer, like it's become such a business and there's so much money involved and so many big things involved. Like there is no more room for guys that are going to try to just go there for their ego and want to show off. But our sport is still starting, so I think there's still room for that, especially in the smaller leagues and stuff.
I had a fight. I was fighting for an amateur title, and I had a coach that I was working with who he was working boxing with me, and in the third round, like I was landing good hands first 2 rounds. Third round, I hit him, I take him down, I end up submitting him, right, choke him, get out, I'm all happy, got the belt and stuff. That coach stormed out, left, didn't even say congratulations to me, anything. I called him later. I was like, where are you? He was like, you could have knocked him out.
Wow.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Wow. You made his brand worse.
Yeah, I could have.
We don't sub
done
people
something.
around my
I could have
parts.
won a different way. Fucking won. Points. You're supposed to win, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I never realized that happened in that sport, but that makes a ton of sense. You don't ever think of it that way, but that makes a ton of sense in retrospect. These guys are wearing their shirts. They got their brand going. They want to see their style victorious because that's how they sell.
When I'm cornering someone, I just want them to win. I don't give a fuck how they do it.
Yeah.
If it's my teammate, you know what I mean? Even if, let's say me and Vicente were working a bunch of jiu-jitsu. If Vicente knocks him out, I'm just as happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want him to win.
Yeah.
I want to see him come home in one piece, get the W. We good.
I hear you, but also, in fairness to those coaches, not that this is right, I understand it though. You're not selling, memberships to Mickey Gall's Jiu-Jitsu Academy.
Yeah, but you gotta fucking check your ego and check.
And what I think is like there is a way for everybody to grow in the sense that, hey, I'm working with this guy, and maybe he didn't win like with what I teach, but it made a difference because when you get in there, for me as a striker. Until I didn't have a high-level grappling and high-level wrestling, my striking didn't flow. So it depends on the other. So a guy like a coach with experience and that knows what's going on and is part of a team, like he will understand that he will grow with everybody's victory, even if it's not on what he teaches.
Sure.
Because it's like it's an individual sport, but you need a team to train everything. Like it's either going to be you are going to build your own team and you're going to have different coaches, or you're gonna be part of a team that has one coach for everything, because no one coach can do everything in MMA.
It's hard to be a master, and like we gone back to what I was saying before. It's hard to be a master. Like there's real no masters in the MMA, because good luck being a fucking wrestling master, a Muay Thai or kickboxing master, a boxing master, a jiu-jitsu master. There's not enough time in the day.
Well, there's even
and there are things that are contrary. Like there are things that are good for jiu-jitsu and are not good for wrestling. So one counters the other. You cannot be the best at both because they think differently.
blows my mind, having worked with Mickey and the guys kickboxing this last little bit, how different kickboxing is from boxing. Like things that you do that make you successful in boxing are remarkably wrong for kickboxing. It's like from a civilian aspect, you just think, oh, like, and you guys make it look so easy. And it's like, all right, so you do kickboxing, and kickboxing is basically boxing, and then you do, what's the difference between wrestling and jiu-jitsu and it's all the same stuff, just different names. No, it's like, it's so different. It's so different, and the nuances. One thing that you do in boxing opens you up for so many things in MMA that doesn't open you up in boxing. You know, even the way you stand, the way your feet are pointed, like it's
you get leg kicked to
it's
death.
insane.
Yeah.
Like, and it's those little tiny things, but then the lights turn off. You know, you're doing one thing wrong, and you're like, I can get away with it, and then you get a kick in the head, and it's like, well, what did you learn? Well, okay, I learned I can't do that shit. You know, the stakes in your sport are so high. You fuck up in basketball, you give somebody the baseline, 2 points. Let's run it back down the court.
Yeah.
You know, somebody misses a block in football. All right, we lost 3 yards. Let's get back in the huddle. You fucking keep your hands down. Night's over. And it's 6 months of training for that fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, the stakes in your sport are so incredibly high. I guess that's the attraction of it. But man, it's tough.
Yeah, like you lose whatever, soccer or basketball. Like next week, you're picking up a win again, and then you're in that mentality and that whole mood in the team, like you're winning again. With us, it's like, okay, we lost. If we didn't get injured, maybe 3 months. If we got injured, maybe a year. Who knows? And then you're sitting through that, and you are all that time coming off a loss. So you got to work to get better and find your motivation and find like things that are gonna make you become better and pick up a win again.
Sure.
That is not winning, because in other sports sometimes like, okay, win. Okay, I lost, but we're gonna win again. Okay, we're winning again. It's a whole different thing, and like I think that's definitely what makes it interesting, and what as a fighter makes it challenging. Like when I see younger guys, and sometimes I see like even guys in Brazil that I've seen for many years, like there are certain things that I know that they are struggling with, and I try to help them, but there are things that it's on, you know, on our own. We cannot, like I cannot tell him like, okay, yeah, you lost and it sucks, but hey, you got to train, you got to get better. There's no other way you're gonna get a win unless you come here and you feel that pain and you know,
that's
go
what promotes
through
the
work.
change. It's
And
like a lot of those lessons you have to learn the hard way. You know, like you have to take that loss, feel that loss, and but you got to keep that resolve to keep training and keep going. Even when you're, like you said, if you're out for 6 months, a year, sitting on a loss, you got to have the fucking mental strength to do it. And that's one of the things like that's great about martial arts, whether you're fighting or if you're just like a hobbyist. I mean, shit, there's not a much more fun way to work out than to be able to go smash some pads or wrestle people and practice jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? Get that to do that physical output. But also it's a vehicle for like self-development. Like the way it'll develop your like I always say, you're forced to confront reality. You're forced, if you're doing jiu-jitsu and you're getting submitted, you're like, all right, that guy could have just killed me. But I tapped. You know what I mean? You can't just bullshit yourself and be like, oh, it's because of blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the umpire's got a big zone today.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, no one's calling the strikes on you. You're calling it yourself when you tap and you're like, fuck, could have put me to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that's why I always say, even just like hobbyists, like if you start training, like you're gonna become, I think, a more real person. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
What was the training like in Brazil, and why did you decide to come up to America?
Training was really good.
What Wasn't it with Serrato?
Yeah, it
in
was with
Brasilia?
Serrato. Yeah, Brasilia. I used to train in Serrato in Brasilia, and that's like I
For
started
those of us that don't
fighting-
know, what is Serrato?
So Serrato MMA is a team in Brazil, and it started in 2009. That was the same year I started fighting. So my first fight, my first fight wasn't as Serrato MMA because we didn't have a name from the team yet. We were part of another team. We left that team. I was one of the fighters, and then we opened this like kind of our own thing. Like I didn't own the gym, like the
Daniel?
Daniel. He's the one that owns the gym and opened it. But I was part of one of the fighters. I was one of the fighters in the team, and since then until now, like until my last fight, I trained there and I trained in Brasilia, and I was always back and forth. I have had like longer periods, maybe 3 months that I spent here back in the days in Black Zillions, then Hard Knocks, and through the whole process until we got Kill Cliff. I was always back and forth, but mainly based in Brazil.
Is there a difference in the training styles? Is there something that stands out?
There are differences, and I think that there are really like what did I really like from there, and why did I stay there for so long? Like the vision they had more of my individual like characteristics and how to game plan specifically for like specific fights that I had, and how we could have the whole team, because it's not a super big team. We could have everybody kind of like, okay, now Vicente is gonna fight, so everybody's kind of from my fight because other guys didn't have fights.
Gotcha.
And then whenever somebody else had a fight, everybody was
A
working.
little bit more of an individual attention as
More
opposed to like a
individual.
team.
Yeah,
exactly.
While at Kill Cliff, there's 20 guys with fights coming up.
Yeah.
So it's a little more like
Yeah.
boxing. There's a training camp specifically for
More
you.
specific to you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I had the same thing at Gracie, New Jersey, where my home gym. It's the same thing. You get your individual attention is definitely more, but the training partners and like all the the high level coaches, high level training partners can't beat Kill Cliff.
And I would say even like more like, because Kill Cliff is a really similar format. Like a lot of the fighters and some of the coaches are together since the Black Zillion times. So like it has developed so much. Back in the day in Black Zillions, like you had one striking coach, one wrestling coach, and then one grappling coach, and that was it for 50, 60, 70 fighters. Nowadays,
Jeez.
like Henry has so many other guys that work striking, and then you have
You got Sean
Gre-
Oh, he's great.
Dieter,
He's great.
Sean Soriano,
Great.
Jason Stroud,
Jason Stroud. You guys got some
Dieter
really, really
Navarro,
high level
yeah,
coaching
a
over
lot
there.
of, lot of,
And
lot
then
of
you
good
have
guys.
like Saeed and Greg working together for the wrestling. And then you have Gerald, who is a great fighter and help us, and Mickey, I don't know if at some point too helps with grappling. Gilbert and Herbert Burns, they also help sometimes with the grappling. So like now
There's a great school
it's
north
a
of here
lot
called
of
The Way.
guys. Yeah, and the thing is like now it's so many guys that are working over there, and that's one of the reasons that I decided that now was the moment to move here. Why? Because now I felt like, okay, Kill Cliff now, and this environment in Florida has, I would say, the best environment where I could have. Is the closest where I could have both things. So I have the highest level where you have, top 15s. I think the top 15 in welterweight we have at like 4 guys or 5 guys, plus a whole bunch of UFC welterweights. And then you go to Bellator. We have number 2 in Bellator. Jason Jackson's going to fight for the title. We have Logan Storley that was the interim champ. So there's so much talent. Then there is the talent of the coaches. Like, it's not just any coach. Greg Jones has such a history behind him, Henry, the
He's
same
been ducking
thing.
us on the podcast a little bit, Greg
Yeah.
Jones.
He'll come
he's
here at
supposed-
some point.
Yeah, one of these days we'll
It's
get
hard.
him on.
I think the hard thing for him is to sit down here for 1 hour.
Nah, we'll get him.
He'll
He's
be here
sick.
for 15
He
minutes,
can
then he's
stand-
going
he
to
can
walk
stand with
over
me.
there, then he's going to come over here.
Yeah,
he's
little
gonna
all over the place.
He got so much
I think we
energy.
figured out the bait. We'll get a couple. It's all about chum in the waters. We'll figure out. We'll figure out some bait.
Yeah, we'll get him in
But,
here. He got sick.
yeah.
He was supposed to do it one day, and he got
Okay.
sick and couldn't. But we'll have him. soon.
Is there any concern? I could see the value. Iron sharpens iron for sure. I could see the value of that training. But is there any concern that you're going to become familiar with guys who you're inevitably going to have to fight someday? Or
Not for me. I mean, that's crazy because that happened in the team. Kamaru and Gilbert fought. I was in Gilbert's corner for that fight. And I tell you, it wasn't nice. Like, it wasn't a good feeling because
That's uncomfortable, huh?
I trained with Kamaru and I lived with Kamaru in the Ultimate Fighter. So I have a relationship with him. Gilbert and me, we're brothers. Like, we've cornered each other so many times. Our families are super friends, super close. So, you know, when that fight was going to happen, and Gilbert and Kamaru, they have a good relationship as well, and they had that before. They weren't maybe as close as I am, you know, to Gilbert, that for sure, but they did have a relationship. So there was that friendship there, but it was a title fight. It was both of their dream. They had to do it. And I messaged Kamaru. I let him know that I was going to help Gilbert for that fight. But the day of the fight, when everything was happening, you know, when they were being announced, the energy was different. Like, it didn't feel good. And after the fight, it didn't feel good. I looked at Kamaru. Kamaru didn't feel good winning and defending his title. The whole thing was crazy. So that's something that it is challenging, and I think that it's going to become more and more common just because the sport is growing and teams like this, like Killcliff, I don't see a team like this not being what the future is, you know. It's like a franchise, like when you see a big football team, you know.
That's
you
what,
got
yeah,
this
that's what they're trying to
huge-
do. That's what Henry was on and was talking about, that trying to make it like a pro team.
Yeah, and
Which,
you know,
for the
it
record,
is.
I'm all in. We've talked about this with the Tommy G episode. I think the IFL had a brilliant idea and they just executed on it poorly. I would love, you know, the South Florida Kill Clips versus the New York, you know, Gracies versus the Sao Paulo, you know, Palharises. I would love it. I
Maybe
would
they'll
love
do
it.
a new PFL with that format.
It could be.
or something, yeah.
Yeah, something where the
Never know,
coaches,
man.
you know, your heavyweight is hurts. Now your welterweight has to fight the heavyweight or something. Like, I love that. I want the juice, baby. I want the juice. You know.
Yeah, I want bare knuckle, no time limit fighting.
You want to bring it back to the old
Bare
days
knuckle,
on the
but no
docks.
time limit. Yeah, like finish
Or-
only.
Yeah, finish only. I think we need a time limit, but put a time limit. But if it finishes, it's a draw because then the guys are
You
going
mean
to
if
fight.
the time limit finishes?
Yeah,
Right.
Do you think?
So you put 15
Yeah.
minutes and just go.
Just go.
Do you think
Yeah,
no time
rounds.
limit, finish only would actually be less?
I think it would not be
exciting?
very fan friendly.
Yeah.
Because it, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know how you know, it's
That's
you're gonna be
when
watching
I say,
there for
That's when I say
an hour.
the grappling side of it complicates it because an hour of grappling allowed, we're gonna go there. Even me, like I am a striker, but I'm gonna go grapple, and I'm gonna take a little break over
Fat
here
guy
and try to
treaty.
put some punches. Now bare knuckle, if you put it time like no time limit, it's hard. How is that not gonna be like a crazy battle? You know.
You feel like
I don't
guys are going to
think
be
guys
like,
I don't think guys are just gonna stand in front of each other and do nothing.
And
be
we've
50
been
minutes
seeing
of
with
trying.
with the game. So Gamebred's been doing bare knuckle MMA
Yeah,
fights.
I think that's nice.
I think it's awesome. It's interesting though. You see people utilize kicks and elbows more to kind of protect their hands.
They don't
a
wanna
little
break
bit,
their knuckles,
You
yeah.
know, it becomes very kick heavy.
Yeah.
You know, I just found that to be interesting and just in watching a couple of the events.
but
Most
in
of our guys
game
fought on
break
that
can
too.
still they can still grapple though. Of
course, yeah. And I like that from a grappling standpoint too. You don't have the glove. It's easy to slip your
Yeah.
chokes in and not have things grabbed. You know.
And you're still seeing bombs being thrown in that thing too, though. Guys are still
Hell
throwing.
Yeah.
But what I think, like, it's crazy
Greg Hardy got caught bad.
how effective the jab has always been effective.
He
but
didn't do game
bare
break. He did bare knuckle fighting.
Oh, okay, bare knuckle
boxing.
fighting.
Bare knuckle is so much more effective to jab because you're cutting guys up
Yeah.
with little
Yeah.
shots. You don't hurt your hand.
Bust
you
the
cut 'em
orbital,
up.
bang,
Yeah.
bang.
I love the. I mean, I'm a big boxing fan. Been a big boxing fan for a long. I love the jab. I love some of the things in boxing. I don't think translated well to early MMA. But now, because of some of the stylistic changes, I think some of the old school boxing stuff can actually translate pretty well into, because the sport is constantly evolving. It's I look at it like football in the way of, well, in the 90s you had 300-pound, 320-pound offensive linemen, and you hand the ball to the running back 30 times. But then the other side put 300-pound linemen, and then now you can pass the ball. The game is always evolving. As you start seeing guys do this kind of hybrid kickboxing, wrestling mentality, the people who then start, keeping people at distance with jabs and stuff. They're forming a completely different type of fighter. Like there are guys that are out there trying to win points and wear people down. You never saw body shots 10 years ago in MMA and the UFC. Now you see guys going to the body all the time.
Speaking of boxing, our boy Caleb Presley, who does the Sunday Conversation, I wanted to show you guys. He had Glenny Balls show Gervonta Davis how good he punches. So if you guys want to check this out, real quick.
It's about time we got a real athlete on the program. Glenny Balls,
Glenny
ladies and
Balls.
gents.
Just form. Just tell me if there's anything he should work on, basically.
One of the best boxers in the game right now.
That's crazy.
Good form? Yeah. You want to see another one?
No.
I'd have been like, okay.
Good.
Thank you, sir. What are thoughts? Hey, thank
So
you.
Christian, you don't think you got your boy here?
I'll
You
take
don't
a body
think-
shot.
Take a body shot?
Yeah.
Christian's going to take a body shot.
I don't want to get choked out, but I'll take a body shot.
Okay.
You want to give him one?
Yeah.
You bless him with one?
Yes, for sure.
All right,
body shot.
So we're gonna. Should I grab? I might need to grab my gloves out of. Should I grab gloves? Or you want to go bare knuckle?
However he wants it.
How you want it, buddy?
Wait. Just in case you send him to the hospital, can we finish the show and then cut it in later?
We'll
Can we do?
we'll
We got to
stop.
do
We do
mixed
that at the
picks.
end.
We got to talk
Yeah,
about a
we'll do
couple
it at
other
the end.
things.
We'll
We'll do it at the end. We'll
Sure,
cut
yeah.
her in.
We'll stop and then we'll set
Yeah,
up.
just in case.
We'll-
Just in
Yeah.
case you break this kid's rib and shove it into his.
He is a vegan, so he might be a little soft.
okay,
you know?
okay.
Might-
When you rupture his
isn't
lung,
much meat
can we
in
at least
there.
get the episode
exactly. He needs a little.
Hey,
Yeah.
I had a rib broken from a body shot.
You have?
Shout out Chris Porter. Yeah.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Well,
in? Attaboy.
here we
Fucked it up
go.
for a few
Let's
months.
go
I could
again.
feel it moving around. I don't know if it was the cartilage or what, but
Nice.
felt weird.
And that. So you're gonna do this one here, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
what is this?
Oh, we got a body
What
shot
is
for
this?
G.
Why are? Is this just a new bit where we just bring G treats during the
Yay!
show? Wait, I need more of a celebration.
You want?
first.
I know you're cutting weight.
Yeah,
do you just,
motherfuckers fighting
I'm
in
cutting
2
weight.
weeks.
do you
cutting
just want to
weight.
sniff it?
No, I'm good. I'll look at it.
Do you want me to describe it to you in detail what it tastes like?
I
I'm not
actually
gonna do it
enjoy
in
this.
front of
I
you.
actually
Do you
enjoy
really?
it. Yeah, for
What's
real.
it?
Because it's like in 3 weeks I'm gonna be eating one of those. So
Oh, you got a Hitler stash again.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it.
That's pretty good. It's good. That's pretty good. Like, I need to dump it in.
That's actually funny, Vicente. When you're
tasty.
cutting
Thank you,
weight,
boys.
like a lot of fighters, like they will like be upset if they see other people eating like around them. Me, I like when we're in Vegas and my friends go down to the buffet. I'm like, yo, send me a picture of your plate.
yes,
I'm
I
like,
do the
you're
same.
the same
I
way?
do the same. Yeah.
I
And
could like live
yeah.
vicariously through them.
Go for it.
I
you know?
like cooking too. So like
Okay.
whenever I'm cut like now this week and next week I'll try to like do different things to my wife, like different kind of plates that I am thinking about that I would like to eat, just so that I kind of satisfy my mind out of the thing. So it's funny. Like I don't know, I have kind of like just by seeing, and I'll go into IG too and see like those people preparing meals like burgers and stuff, and I'm looking at that. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna save these. I'm gonna eat this after the
I
fight.
remember when I was wrestling in high school and having a cut weight, watching that show Man vs. Food. You remember that show with Adam Richman? You remember that show?
Of course.
That show was great.
I looked at that show. I said, light work. We call this Tuesday. Call this Tuesday around my household.
Yeah, one of his biggest fails was trying to do the fat sandwiches at the grease trucks.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It was one of mine too.
Really?
Because you had to eat 3 of them in a half hour to get one named after you.
know what a
and
fat
I
sandwich
could
is?
never put it down.
You know what that is, Vicente?
Never do it.
So a fat sandwich,
They're gone
it's
now.
like a Rutgers staple. Yeah, the
Okay.
grease trucks are like, I hear they're still there, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
So they take it'd be like a sub, right?
Okay, yeah.
Like a hoagie, whatever you call it. And they would put like chicken fingers in it,
Cheeseburger,
and
chicken
cheese,
fingers,
and French
fries, onion rings.
So it's called a fat
all
sandwich.
in
They
the
would just
sandwich.
put everything, like you wouldn't have like fries on the side. They put it all in the sandwich. Stuff this motherfucker.
They had great
thick.
names like Fat
And you
Bitch,
have to
Fat
eat
Pussy.
everything.
Yes.
I swear to God,
You
look,
had to
I'm not
eat
making this
if
up.
you ate 3, you got to name one
To
after
name one
you.
after you, but you had to like
You had
you had to
time.
choose what was in it, And
Yeah,
then
what were the names of some of them? Because this is true too.
No, this is 100%. You'd order for your boys. They
and
were
you
like
can name it whatever you want.
they were $5 each. It was incredible. This was nuts. There would be a
All
line.
the drunk kids.
There would be a
come
line
back.
at 3:30 in the morning out to the street. There would be fights. People would be fucking in the parking lot. It was right off of Easton Ave. It was worth going all the way to New Brunswick just for this, man. And the girls, they would get
Easton Ave and College Ave. Yeah.
yeah, the girls would get a free fat sandwich if they flashed the guy and let him take a Polaroid, and then they put the Polaroid of the tits up on the thing. Yeah, it was great. And then
That was gone in my day.
Then the parents would show up for the homecoming games and see their little daughter up on the fat
little
sandwiches.
darling up
Yeah,
there.
oh, my little communications major. So the we had, I know the fat bitch was great, fat pussy, fat asshole. And the order needs to be like,
leave it in Jersey kids.
I need two fat assholes, 3 fat bitches, a fat pussy, and let me get a fat soprano. Yeah, and like the fat soprano, I think
Had like
was
marinara on
That's
it.
it had the marinara on it. That's right. I remember that one.
Bet you do.
I do. Yeah, it was, and I could never get the third one down. I think they like dip them in grease to make sure you can't get them down. Yeah, the good old days. The good old days, boys. What do you think, since you like to cook and you can't swallow anything, what do you think about food in the bedroom with the missus?
Oh, man.
What do we think about that?
He doesn't even know what you're saying.
Food, you do any food play with the missus in the bedroom there?
Oh, no. I mean, I'll keep that between us.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
gentleman,
Fair enough.
yeah.
He's a gentleman.
gentleman.
Well,
I'm a
unlike
gentleman.
you, Vicente, Gerard is not a gentleman. Gerard uses whipped cream. Gerard uses Pop Rocks.
Pop Rocks.
Puts them in places where it'd be hard to get them out.
Yeah.
But he finds a way.
It's not hard to get them out.
Not impossible.
No, it's fun. It's fun to get them out, is what it is. Pop Rocks. Yeah.
Vicente's slowly moving his seat away from Gerard.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys were talking about this thing cutting weight. What is that exactly?
Don't worry about it,
All
buddy.
right, we'll figure it
That's
out later.
not cool. It's not cool.
Give me your
not
favorite Brazilian soccer players of all time. Go.
Man.
This used to
I'm
be
not-
my squad. I was a FIFA addict
Okay,
forever, and I
okay.
used to like throw down on these dudes.
I'm not a big fan of soccer, but I'll
Really?
give you. Number 1 for me is Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
Number 9, yeah.
Yeah, he was a
Ronaldo.
beast, man.
Yeah.
He was
Then
an
I'll go with
absolute beast. Thank you, brother.
Rivaldo.
Rivaldo. Wow.
Yeah, he was also from the 2002
That's
team.
right.
Yes. And then I got
No Ronaldinho?
That's why I'm shocked.
Ronaldinho is good, really good. But
No
I don't
Kaká.
know. It's Kaká for us. The thing is, like, I am for me, 2002 is like the iconic team, and Kaká was really young, and he was like, like Kaká is a beast, but there it was like he was just one more.
Yeah, I've heard
Just
that from
another
other.
guy. Just another guy?
Yeah,
you
just
mean?
another guy. Like,
Yeah.
like he's a beast
Yeah.
if you
Fair.
put him like in Europe and everything.
Well, I've heard
But
that from
there
other Brazilians
in
on
2002
Ferry Street
Yeah.
in Newark. I don't know if you ever go Ferry Street in Newark. Very Brazilian, very
Yeah, no, I
Portuguese
don't think
fest.
I've been there yet.
But they say kind of the same thing. Oddly, like Kaká he's a European star. He's not a Brazilian star. He's a European star.
If now he were playing, he would be the best.
What do you think of
in the team.
Neymar?
I think like Neymar is really good now and is a great player, but I don't think like he
He's
gets
like a weirdo, man.
And I think like the sport changed so much in Brazil, especially like these guys like Neymar. He went so young into Europe and playing at a high level, and like it's different. Like guys like Ronaldo and like Rivaldo, Cafu, Romario, all these guys from back in the days, like they were playing for a long time in Brazil before they went to Europe.
Gotcha.
And life is different. So when you get to Europe a little bit more mature and already like lived in Brazil for a while, I think the way they value that is like they even their confidence is different because they seen the work they put on and they know what they are capable of. Yeah. I think Neymar, he has the talent, he does put in the work, but maybe not even he knows how good he is and how much he worked to be where he is because he got there very young.
Yeah, it came too easy to him maybe a little bit. I was a big Ronaldinho fan. I loved Ronaldinho. I loved Roberto Carlos, man. Roberto Carlos with the free. You ever seen a Roberto Carlos
Those
free
kicks?
Oh my!
Crazy,
Pull up Roberto Carlos free kick. We've never seen anything like this since. I don't know how he did what he did. Maybe they changed the ball or something. Have you ever seen this Roberto Carlos free kick?
It's witchery.
It's witchery. Yeah. It's
the ball goes all around the defense.
Like
It's
bending
crazy.
it like Beckham?
Oh, but opposite.
More,
You got and
even
dude,
more.
he would take like a
It's crazy.
50-yard run up to the ball. Watch this. This is nuts. You don't see this anymore. If they did stuff like this, soccer would be way more popular in America. This is crazy.
And it's like he's gonna run. Like,
Look at how far out he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this. The audacity
about to
to
go
even
to
put
center
this
field.
on net.
I wonder if he needs all
Midfield.
that run.
Boof.
Oh.
But wait till you see it from behind.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
And everybody like smiles with a confidence, like we knew you were gonna do it.
Of course.
We had no doubt of that.
Wait till you see this thing. Like there's Ronaldo right there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, these squads were nuts until Germany put an end to Brazilian soccer.
Yeah.
Look at this thing.
was
Poof.
That was sad
Going in
day.
the other side.
Thanks for playing.
Wow.
Thanks for
Unreal.
playing. From the left.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Brazil must have been wild when you guys won those World Cups, huh? It must have been.
I remember it was crazy. 2002 was crazy.
What-
Everybody was.
What are some of the? So you spent a lot. You spent a lot of time in Jersey. Spent a lot of time in South Florida, Brazil, Chile. What are some of your favorite aspects of each culture, and maybe a least favorite too? If like you could change something in America, like give them something from Brazil or from Chile or vice versa.
I'll start with the part like I don't think I would change anything because I think that even like the bad things is what makes that place special. So like because everything like it's so opposite, like the US, Brazil, and Chile, they have so many things that are opposite, but I think that's what also makes
Like
the
what?
good. Like I would say directly Brazil and the US, like because it's the places where I've lived the most and spent more time. Like the way that you see things here, like the way that like a team or a sport, how it grows here, how business works here, so different than Brazil. Like here you see a small, let's say we're here in Boca. Let's say we're gonna make a show here in Boca, MMA event, and we're gonna maybe have most of the card people, local guys, right, fighting, and then we're gonna be able to get maybe like 10 companies, businesses around here support this show,
Right.
put a little money over there, and we're gonna have like, because this is gonna bring local kind of like marketing and everything, and the guys that support those people are gonna support the companies that are supporting the show.
Sure.
And that happens. That never happens in Brazil. So in Brazil, everybody is looking for the big shows. So everybody wants to be in the UFC. Everybody wants to be in the big things. What I see, like, why is that bad in Brazil? Because then, like, it's a big struggle for guys that are beginning to get even like noticed by a show, because it's either you're really good or you're just like, we don't care about you because it's not gonna bring us money. So that's something that I would change in Brazil, and I think it's positive here. But at the same time, why would I not maybe change it? Because that's a whole aspect of the Brazilian culture and how like everything there is more family and more like really supporting and working like, and the family is all together and it's about that family, and sometimes we're not going to get help from anybody else, and it's going to be a hard way to get to where we want. But when we get there, we're going to be ready for that because we were prepared through battle and through the struggle. So it's like at the same time, that aspect of like that negative thing, also like whenever a guy gets to UFC, we're tough. Like the Brazilian guys are tough, just because to get there it was such a road and such a struggle and such a, man, nobody's gonna get there, and we did get there. Like everybody thought that like I even had like people from my family, and they thought like, they were doing good, like in their minds. Like they would say, hey, this is so hard. Why are you gonna even try this? Like you're gonna get hurt, and it's something that nobody can do this. Why are you gonna do that? That just made me even want it more, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you guys. And then when it happens, everybody is like, man, you did it. And like, so those same people kind of that kind of doubted you now have your back, and then it makes sense. But it makes sense for our culture just because it's how the culture is. So we don't kind of like, it's hard to explain. I don't know if I got the message.
I think I understand.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
no, that's super interesting.
But like I love a lot of things. Like in Brazil, what I think the here, if you'll see that in the gym, like all the Brazilians are always hanging out together, and we also kind of like we relate really well to everybody, to the Russians and to the Japanese and Chinese and everybody. Like the Brazilians, I think, are the ones that most kind of talk to everybody because that's just the way that Brazilians are. We like to talk and we like to hang out with people, and we love this interaction, and that makes us feel at home. That's why I think that like it's so hard. It was so hard for me to leave Brazil because
that community, that connection, like
family,
Yeah.
like my wife is I'm mixed, right? Chilean, Brazilian, born in the U.S., but my wife is Brazilian, born in Brazil, raised in Brazil, and all her family is there. And now that we moved here, that was one of the big challenges, for her to leave her family behind. And then she talks to her mom every day, calls and video chats and everything every single day. And I think that's wonderful because it's making it much better for this transition. But I understand how hard it is because when we were there, we would go like 2-3 times a week see my parents-in-law, and then I would see my mom also like 2 or 3 times a week. And especially with our son now, the little guy, they love to be with him and to spend time with him. So that's something that is very Brazilian, I think. This real like great interaction between the whole family and the whole community as a whole.
Yeah, I can relate to that big time. I know, I'm very big on family.
Yeah.
The people. That's the people for the most part you can really trust. They're really gonna have your best. You don't have to kind of wonder where they're coming from. You know what I mean? And also just the fact that those people they're like almost the same as you. We had Jamie on.
Yeah.
That person shares the most.
Next
DNA
week we'll have
with
Jamie
me.
on.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. But I understand. Like there was times like when I was in Jersey, and obviously I have my family. I have little baby sisters. They're 9 and 10 now. It's fucking crazy that they're getting old. But even my coach David.
Yeah.
David's like a second father to me.
Yeah.
It's hard that there's times when I went out to LA to train. I went I'm down here now training, and it's hard. And I remember like I was talking to my dad about it, and he told me the story about my grandfather, actually my mom's father. And he had an opportunity, had a job, and they lived in New York, and he had to move out to Jersey for the job. And he's talking to his dad. He's like, Dad's like, I'm not sure what to do. I got this opportunity, but I'm not gonna be able to see as much, if I take it. And he's like, man, I moved across from Italy to New York to give you a better life. This job is better for you. It's better for your family. Get the hell out of here. Go.
And we had none of these. We couldn't
Exactly.
talk to each other.
Yeah.
Write a letter. Hope it gets there
Yeah,
months
good luck.
from now and wait for whatever comes back.
Yeah, no, I think that it's hard because you can recharge and we can draw a lot of energy. Us who are fortunate enough to be very connected to our family, but that we all got to go and carve our own piece out of this, and if possible, we can get back and we can we can still have that, but we all got to have our own kind of journey.
When I was thinking about leaving Jersey City to come south, and I was like really getting upset with myself about it. I felt like I was leaving the fight. I'm leaving this COVID fight. It's fight or flight. We can't let these people win. And I'm like, bitching to my father about it. And my dad's like, you weren't born in Galway. Our ancestors left when it got bad too, bro. Just leave.
Yeah, do what's right.
Get out of here. Yeah. Like you're Irish and you weren't born in Ireland, dude.
Yeah.
Take off.
Yeah.
Go to Florida. What are you here for? You don't have kids. Get out of here. It's been great. He was right. Now, a couple more before we get out of here.
We got to do mixed picks also. It's going to be mix and we'll call it Mix and Vix picks.
Mix and Vix picks.
I got them ready when you
Yeah. So the silent assassin, like you said, you spent time here in America. You spent time in Chile. You spent time in Brazil. Best looking women are where, bro?
Brazil. My wife's from there. So.
Good answer.
Now I know where the toughest women are for sure.
And my mom too. So
now the food in Chile is like very Japanese inspired. I've heard. Is that true? Is it have or is that Peruvian?
Chile?
I might have
No,
Peru.
Chile,
I might
yeah,
have
they
Peru.
have
I'm Peru.
Chile.
They got these crazy mountains in Chile that
Peru
like
and Chile are very similar in a lot of things, but they kind of argue with each other.
Kind of like the Dominican and Puerto Rico.
Is that right? Really?
Like they have pisco, and Chile says pisco is from Chile. Peru says it's from them, and all this. So like it's very similar food, but seafood. That's what's great in Chile.
Really? Because they're right on there. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. And you got you spent how much time in Chile?
I never lived in Chile, so
so you were there visiting.
I've visited, yeah,
Okay.
and I still have a lot of family there, uncles and aunts and cousins. Yeah, I had my grandmother, but she passed away in 2019.
Sorry to hear that, man. The transition to America. Your English is fantastic, obviously, right? So you've been coming here your whole life. You spent how much time?
Born in Jersey.
Yeah, but
Jersey
I'm
boy.
born in
Jersey
Jersey.
boy.
So I lived in Jersey until I was about 6 to 7 years old, but so I learned English here.
Okay.
My mom learned English here as well, and when we moved, my mom started teaching English. She worked with that.
Oh, okay.
And me and her, we've only spoken English since then until now. We speak English to each other. That's why I never lost my English.
So
that was important.
my
And I
buddy-
have Spanish because of my dad.
I was gonna say you're
only
trilingual.
Trilingual.
I only speak Spanish to my dad.
It's crazy. My buddy Danilo, great guy, moved down to Brazil, got married, moved down to Brazil because she wanted to be closer to her family. Married a Brazilian girl here in Jersey, and then they left Long Branch, moved back to Brazil. And he asks us to send him MAC lipstick and the weirdest things because for whatever reason those are so expensive in Brazil.
He was talking about pork roll the other day, or Taylor ham, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
if
What do
you
you call
go-
it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I know it's like the
Yeah. What would you call it if you were ordering it?
I don't know.
It's a big Jersey debate. I know what you call it. You're
clearly
from down
pork
south.
roll. It's clearly
See, look,
pork roll. It's clearly pork
people
roll.
in South Jersey.
Do you order a
pork
boar's
roll.
head sandwich?
People in North Jersey call it Taylor ham.
Come on.
Call it Taylor ham.
So it's a big
just
debate.
because
Just
my
because
dad lives more up north.
Give me my gold medal back.
that looks a little
I don't know. My
bronzy.
dad lives north or not.
He's
just-
north, yeah. But
it's just
well,
trash.
actually, here's the thing: where
middle.
we are, we're a little more north.
Okay.
But I consider it central. Another debate is people are like, no, there's just north and south.
There's always a central.
How?
Yeah.
There's always a middle of something.
There's
right?
always a middle
it's
of something.
It's retarded.
Okay.
It's stupid.
There's
it's a
always a
stupid
middle.
debate.
So we
but
could call it both ways.
Exactly.
Yeah,
brother. That's what I'm saying. We
that's
could call it both.
Yeah.
I have no dog in the fight. I don't really care.
No dog.
I know what
Good,
you mean
good,
if you
good,
call
good.
it pork roll. I know what you mean if
Yeah.
you call it Taylor ham.
Well, the LeBlanc, my buddy also asked for. It's like the chincasa, something like that. You're not a big drinker, I would imagine, but there's this drink you can pretty much only get it out there.
We're
It's
athletes.
yeah, it's half. It's like rum and tequila had a baby. It's some of the best stuff I've ever had in my life. But the hangover is, my God Almighty, chincasa or something. I don't know. Last question for you before we get to mixed picks: why isn't capoeira more popular in America?
Man, I don't know. It's the thing is capoeira was the reason why it is the way it is. It's because we even studied
This is
that a
super
little
interesting.
bit. Yeah, it came from the slaves, and that was their martial art, but they weren't allowed to train it.
They weren't allowed to fight, so they had to disguise it as a
Exactly.
dance.
Yeah.
Get out of here!
Yeah, they can't. They can't
So
have.
they made it into
yeah.
a dance so that they could train and practice and teach their young ones
No, we're
how
just
to
dancing.
fight. Yeah.
We're just dancing over here.
Dude, that movie, only the strong, right? When I was a
never
kid,
saw it.
only the strong. Dude, I had all of us trying to do capoeira in the background, in the backyard. We couldn't do it, but I mean, you never saw it?
Nah.
Na 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 way, na 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 way.
Yeah,
na, na,
that's
na.
how. That's the song of capoeira. Paranauê there. Paranauê.
Pull it up. Only the strong, so Mick can
Paranauê.
say it real quick.
So
Only the
it's-
strong.
The thing is, it's all comes from Africa, the capoeira and everything. That's why it's very similar in different countries, and the thing is, because it went that route, it kind of has a lot of culture and a lot of dance into it, and that's how it grew most. A lot of people that practice it as an a dance and kind of just for the whole artistic part of it.
Gotcha.
But in Brazil, there are many schools that are the fighting capoeira, and that's wild.
Yeah.
They have competitions and real stuff. They really fight, and it's amazing.
Can we get the volume on this or no?
Yeah, that's capoeira.
Yeah, one sec.
Oh, all right, cool. So yeah, the
they
other
can
time,
fight.
people, if anybody ever saw, I believe it was called. Oh, there it is. Here we go.
You see Paranauê, yeah. You see that all the time in Brazil. And the skill they have, it's amazing.
The acrobatics of this.
Nice spinning heel kick right there.
I'm already tired. No
You just
fat.
pulled a hamstring.
There's no fat guy trading in capoeira, I'm guessing here. What was the Rock movie with Sean Austin Scott? That's another one where they did a little capoeira in there. What's up, hip hop? That guy.
There's an MMA fighter like Marco Aurelio, I think, and he has some wild knockouts doing capoeira.
Really?
Yeah, and then he also like he does fight scenes in a lot of movies because of his skills, and also I think he records like for video games with those little things.
Oh, the motion
yeah.
captures.
This guy,
Look
this
at him
guy.
go.
No, and you'll see he has some wild fights, and he is one of the guys that really uses capoeira. Few guys do it.
Oof. Let's get
Look at that.
Dana. Styles make fights. I want to see capoeira versus drunken master. Wow,
That's crazy.
that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with
That's
coming
beautiful.
at you.
That's beautiful. All right, let's get into Mick and Vic's picks.
Mick and Vic's picks. Now Mick's shooting at like 70% for the year here, so you're up against a big one here, man.
Listen, and I always say,
I'm not good at that, but
brother, that's
I never
exactly
pick-
what I say. I'm always like, I don't know. Like I'm not. I would say I'm not good at picking fights.
I like.
We've been good so far.
I
He's
love-
starting to feel pretty good about it.
I'm starting to change my tune a little
The
bit.
thing is, like, I love like Rocky Balboa and stuff like that, so I always feel like I pick the one that is supposed to lose because I
underdog?
think he's gonna. Yeah.
Well, here's
I
the
think
thing.
he's gonna win, and
If-
I'm emotional about that. I don't like it.
All right.
But
So
I'll
here's the
pick.
thing. You got to take
'Cause I'm not-
emotions out of it.
There's no
You got to
money
take
on it
emotions
for
out of
me,
it.
so-
Vicente.
He likes the puppies.
But here, there's people
I like a puppy.
who like if you pick an underdog, like if you have a good feeling about an underdog, and you pick that, and then they pick it and they get it right, they get more money.
People gonna
Yeah.
get
You know?
significantly more money.
So if we could pick some underdogs, that'll make the people happy.
But it has to make sense.
Yeah,
It's got to
you
be
know-
right. We got to be right. You know
First
what
of
I mean?
all, this card is stupid, right?
Yeah,
Can we just talk?
these
This
are the
card is-
prelims.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's
starting
true.
off, we got Miranda Maverick versus Priscilla Cajuera.
You know who I'm going with.
Who you got?
What do you think?
Priscilla Cajuera.
the favorite?
Will he ever
I'm
not
going
pick
with
a Brazilian?
Brazilian.
I see.
There's an underdog
There
for you.
might be a blind spot already.
All right, he's going with the underdog right
Anybody
here.
who speaks with a
a Brazilian underdog is always worth betting because we're tough. So
You do you know her?
no, I don't. Like
Have
I've
you-
seen
have
her
you
fight.
seen her
Yeah,
fight?
I've seen her fight.
What's
yeah,
the story on her? I'm not.
But I don't
I'm not very
know. I don't
familiar.
know much about her.
I love that name,
Okay.
Miranda
but I think
Maverick.
She's a grappler. Yeah.
Miranda
Cool
Maverick
name.
sounds like a video game that like a Japanese person would
Yeah.
name like an American fighter.
She doesn't even need a nickname.
Sergeant Gall versus Miranda Maverick.
So the next one, Matthew Semmelsberger, Euros Medic. You got any?
No, I don't
anything
know.
here?
Medic is
Alright.
moving
Medic.
up a weight
That would be
class from
Medic.
lightweight.
All right, so
Yeah,
I got
Medic.
a little something here. So Semmelsberger, he beat actually two teammates of mine on the regional scene.
Okay.
And I like him. I like the kid. He's a tough kid. He's like a real one. Like he's like a real martial artist. He's in there to challenge himself. Blah blah blah. They're hot on this kid. It's Medic,
Medic, yeah.
whatever. Yes, I think they call him the doctor.
If they don't, they should.
They're a little hot on him. I didn't know he was coming up from 155.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Semmelsberger on the as an underdog pick here.
Two dogs off
Wait, is
the,
he?
off
is-
the
No,
rip.
No, I'm
he's
sorry.
the
He's a
favorite.
favorite.
No,
He's a
no,
favorite.
he's favorite.
Oh, I
Medic is
fucked
the
up.
underdog.
He's a 2-1.
Oh,
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know then. You know what I mean? If he was, I thought I was gonna get some good money back on Semmelsberger. I don't know. Do I touch it? What do you think, Christian?
I would go Semmelsberger.
Man, I think Semmelsberger's tough, and I think he's a good striker, but Medic is a striker as well, right?
I think Medic is a grappler, but I'm not positive.
All right, I'm gonna go with my boy Semi the Jedi here.
All right.
Lock it in.
All right, lock it in. Next, we got CJ Vergara versus Vincius Salvador. I think that's how you
Vinicius Salvador.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yes.
Vicente could.
You know
What do you
my
think,
pick?
Vicente?
You know my pick. My pick is gonna be Vinicius, of course, Brazilian, and I'm gonna justify my pick, and the justification is, You know how when you invest money, you can invest like ETFs, and then they can have ETFs of countries, however that market of the country
Sure,
is.
yeah.
So that's what I'm doing.
That's,
Brazil.
I like it.
Yes,
I like
I'm
what you're
investing
doing.
in Brazil.
So Vicente's gonna give you a little Brazilian
Here we go.
parlay.
That's it. We got ourselves a Sao Paulo parlay, baby. That's what we're rocking.
All right,
right.
next we got Jake Matthews versus Darius Flowers.
You know
That's
Darius
170,
Flowers?
right?
I think he just got signed. I think.
Yeah.
I think Matthews' original opponent fell out.
I'm gonna go with Jake.
Me as well.
Yeah.
Me as
Okay.
well.
I actually,
Jake
not
is good.
as a civilian here, the Jake Matthews is a good fighter. I don't know much about Darius. He's late on this. I think 240 is a great price.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'm pretty sure he was like they signed him last week to fill in short notice. So
All right.
yeah.
Next we got Roman Kopylov versus Claudio Ribeiro. Did I say that right?
I do not know the gentleman.
Claudio Ribeiro.
We know who Vicente's taking.
Yeah, you know my pick.
Throw him on
No.
the Brazilian parlay. If you guys hit on this, you guys got to thank your boy Vicente.
Yes.
Send him a video of you cashing your money going,
Brazilian
"Pa-da-da-way,
parlay.
Yeah.
pa-da-da-way, la-la-la."
Who we going with?
Some capoeira in there.
I'm not touching this one. I don't know these guys.
All right, we'll go. I'm not even gonna say it. All
Okay,
right.
you want me to
Wait,
say
try
it?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you say it,
you-
Vicente.
Marcos Rogério de Lima.
Oh,
Derek
man.
Lewis. Derek Lewis on the prelim card.
I know.
Who's he's headlined a lot of cards.
I love Derek Lewis. I really do. He's probably on the downside of it, but man, he's still the power's the last thing to go, right?
So
I mean,
I heard him talking, and he said he's been like bad injured in his last few fights. He said he had to drop 25 pounds the last day. Passed out. He's been through a lot of stuff.
his balls was hot.
His ball's been hot. I got a good feeling on Lewis. I like DeLima as well. But I think with that value, and people are sleeping on Lewis a little bit. I think that he's dropped a few in a row. Obviously, he's fighting top of the top, but I'm going with Lewis here. Lock that
I think
in.
Mark, how do you say his name?
You can say De Lima because
DeLima had a leg kick, a lot of leg kicks in his last fight. I might be getting him confused with somebody, but I think he almost finished the guy with leg kicks, if I'm not
He's
mistaken.
tough, man.
He's
He's
tough.
tough.
He's
He
getting
is.
better.
I think he was back in the day. He was a 205er.
Yeah.
And
Now he
he's-
bumped up to heavyweight.
Yeah. I think he's good, and I think if I'm gonna
very
go
good.
with him because he's Brazilian, but also I do think I think he's a favorite for a reason. I
Yeah.
think that he's at the better moment.
It's also like
Right.
going back to what Mick was saying earlier. Styles make fights. If he was a 205, Lewis's problem has always been cardio. If this guy's gonna out cardio him, it's gonna be a tough one for Derek.
Yeah, he's got a big rock Brazilian head.
All right. All right,
Who said
moving
that? He's
on.
like, stop hitting that big old Mexican head. What was that?
I
don't
forget
remember.
which fight that is. Yeah. All right, Trevin Giles versus Gabriel Bonfim.
I have an inside look on that one.
There we
I've
go.
trained years and years with Gabriel Bonfim. He is one of the Bonfim brothers. I've trained with him since he's 16 years old, and with his brother since his brother's 18 years old, and they're beasts. He was amateur Brazilian champion, pro Brazilian champion in boxing, both in boxing, and he has probably 13 submissions because he's a black belt in Luta Livre. We trained together in Brasilia, in Brasil de Luta Livre is our gym. Our master is Renato Ferreira. And he is minus 330, man, for a reason.
For a reason, huh?
He's a beast. He's a beast.
All right.
I'm telling you.
All right, let's
You know
lock
what?
it in.
On that endorsement, I'm going both
Bonfim?
too.
All right, moving on to the main card.
This is a rough mix picks for America.
All right, so we got first on the main card, Michael Chiesa versus Kevin Holland.
I'm gonna go Chiesa, and then
Upset
I think-
special.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go Chiesa just because I think he's tough. I think that he is when he's got his head right and his whole game right, he is really, really tough. And Kevin has a lot of flaws, a lot of things that you can explore. He's also dangerous. He hits heavy and he goes crazy sometimes. But if Chiesa can explore a smart
Exploit,
game plan,
yeah.
exploit, smart, take him down and do the right things, I think he's a better fighter overall, MMA wise. Yeah.
I'm going Chiesa as well.
All right, moving up, Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green. This could be bad.
Hey, people are. That's
Four
another
to-
one.
4-1.
Since he's lost, 4 or 5 in a row, people are hating on Tony. They're sleeping. I think
4
they're
to
sleeping
1.
on him. I think. I think you can. What was that? You can't stop crazy. I think Tony's got that crazy to him. He's got that confidence. Bobby Green, I love the way he fights. You know, he hits hard, keeps his hands down, talks shit. He's got a nice slick style. I'm kind of want to go with Ferguson on the upset here.
I like that.
That would,
Please
be
do.
that would be a heavy upset.
Sit down, enjoy the fight because it's gonna be a great fight.
Amen.
Put a little bit of money, not too much, on Ferguson.
Agree.
And then if you win
Agreed.
big.
So maybe you can
Agreed.
hedge here. If it's you think if it's a knockout or if it's a TKO, you got to figure it's going to be Green, right? And if it goes the distance, Ferguson has a chance. You don't think Ferguson's going to stop him?
He could submit him. He could run in
sub
there
him.
and Minari roll a little ankle pick action. You never know.
All right.
Yeah, I'd say a little money on Ferguson.
All right. Now we got a Mortal Kombat fight next.
Oof.
That's a nice fight.
You gotta talk on this one.
This is
first,
gonna be
Vicente.
this is a challenging one for me. I want to say I put my money on Michel Pereira, but that is not like if I'm analyzing a fight as an analyst. If I were, I would go like I agree exactly how it shows there, like -150 to Thompson, because I think he's just like he is the better fighter. He is more technical. He is more experienced. But I think he's almost 40 or he's 40. So Pereira has a lot of youth, a lot of explosiveness.
Yeah, he's Wonder Man now.
So I think it's like that. Like it's almost a 50-50 fight, but I don't know. You know, for me, it would be like a 50-50 fight. I think it's going to be more like who is able to set the pace. And I would put my money on Pereira just to try to get a little bit more.
Yeah, I think this is another one where you sit back and enjoy. This fight's gonna be fireworks. Both these guys really high level strikers. Pereira does crazy shit, but I feel like I'm leaning towards Michel Pereira as well.
I would think one of the better bets of the night would be this to upset for fight of the night. I think upset fight of the night. If you want to do a prop, this one has a chance to everybody's thinking Poirier Gaethje is going to be fireworks. You got Jan and Alex. But I think if you want to think outside the box and go, low cost, high reward, fight of the night, prop on Stephen Thompson Pereira.
All right. And we got Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira.
I think it's a knockout.
Yeah, by who?
Alex Pereira.
You think?
I think so. I just think, man, he is, I think he's going to be quicker and he's going to be more like, I don't know, physically, I think that he has more weapons and technically in
You
striking.
think
he's much
Alex has
better.
more weapons?
More weapons physically. So
Okay.
I think he's really long, really quick. I think he's going to be the faster of the two because he's, used to fighting even lighter guys and quick guys. He is not going to be like weaker because that guy's a beast. He's a monster how big he is. So I don't think he's going to be the weaker man in there, like strength, and he's really, really long. So he has the length as well. He has the striking, no,
One of the best strikers in the world.
no doubt. Now he has obviously like grappling and wrestling. Blachowicz has that all day, but I don't know, get past those hands and that movement and everything that Pereira brings. I don't know. I see Pereira knocking Blachowicz out.
All right, so this one's tough for me. I like Alex a lot. I love his coaches, his crew, his team. He's got Glover Teixeira there. He's got Plinio Cruz, who's our boy back at AMA Fight Club, owns a gym in Jersey. Great people. I gotta go with Jan on this. I'm going with
Whoa,
Jan. I'm
Jan.
going with Jan. I gotta be true to the people. And also it was funny. On one of my fight weeks, Dorian Price and my brother LJ Raboli, we were like, they were down on Jan. They weren't sure like Jan would ever be like the champ. This is years ago. And look at the way Jan rose up. He's always surprised people.
Really
got
smart.
that Polish power. I am going with Jan. I think he out wrestled Izzy, and Izzy was out wrestling Pereira. So I feel like if I'm gonna do some MMA math, I feel like Jan can expose the grappling hole that Pereira has, and I'm going with Jan on this one.
Okay. All right. Last one. This might be the hardest one. Poirier versus
We
Gaethje.
get it. We get it. You're vegan, bro. We need to like.
This
This fight's
fight,
so hard.
I think this is like one of the best fights you could like from a fan standpoint.
Yeah.
Like right now, like these are two of the most like violent fighters in the game. You know, Dustin Poirier and Gaethje. You know, they've been around. They've been up and down, been high, been low. But these guys, every time they bring it, when you watch these guys fights, there's so much violence and so much activity that it doesn't feel like a 5-round fight. It feels like each round is 15 minutes. You know. So I think we're gonna be. This is when you gotta fasten your seatbelt. If I'm making my pick, and obviously this one could go either way, I'm going Poirier.
Yeah, Diamond.
Same thing. I'll go the same. I think that Dustin has more, like, is more technical, is better, like, defensive wise. He knows how to take a risk better than Justin does. Justin takes risks but gets hit sometimes.
Yes.
And you don't want to get hit by Dustin Poirier because he hits hard.
He
So I
pours
just
it
feel
on.
like, I feel like Dustin, you know, in this one is just a little bit, but it's going to be wild and any one of them could win.
And they've had a fight before, and Dustin ended up winning.
Yeah.
There was times where he was losing early in the fight, but he had the resilience, came back. Now they say it's hard to beat someone twice. I think it's hard to beat someone that beat you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think I think I got to go with Dustin here.
And is it possible in your guys' mind to be too tough for your own good? Is that a thing? Because sometimes you look at Gaethje and like he looks just too tough for his own good. Sometimes thought that about Cerrone. Like was obviously athletic enough to move. Was obviously could have avoided some damage, but was just like nah.
No, who's a good example of that too? I've thought about recently was Dan Hooker.
Yeah.
His fight with Edson Barboza, he was getting shelled on.
That was hard to watch.
It was almost hard to watch.
Yeah, that was hard to
You know what I
watch.
mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's another example of too tough for his own good. But I think Gaethje for sure. He's willing to take 4 to give 1. You know, he'll be leaned over, waiting, and just bam, bam, comes out rocking. One of the most fun fights.
Yeah, from
there
an
is.
audience perspective,
Phenomenal.
phenomenal.
This is a fun fight card, and that's for the BMF title.
BMF title.
And Jorge Masvidal will be putting that around the winner's waist.
And before we let you go, we got to ask, what do you think about RDA, man? What do you think about your
Yeah.
fight coming up?
Man, I'm excited. I think that's going to be an amazing fight. Everybody has to tune in.
Who are you taking in that fight? There's 2 Brazilians.
I'm taking the Brazilian that
Taking
was
the
born in New Jersey.
USA.
Hey, yeah, that's so that'll be a week from when this is airing, right? It'll be this is airing on Saturday, the day of the BMF fights. Vicente is headlining the next card, fighting RDA, who's a legend, former champ, and Vicente is a legend. Listen, like I said, the fact that Christian is a bigger Vicente fan than me, that's okay. There's only a few people who could be if you're rooting for this guy and supporting this guy, you know your heart's in the right place. This is a real one. So I hope everybody who's watching this is supporting Vicente. Got to know him a little bit here.
Yeah.
Great guy through and through.
This has to
True
be
martial artist, true gentleman.
I
great
would
person.
imagine you were a Rafael Dos Anjos fan growing up. Yeah.
Yes, huge fan. For me is the second guy that I'm fighting that I watched, be a champion. So the first one was Woodley, and now I get to fight RDA, and RDA is special because, being a Brazilian and having like the rise he had to become a champion, because it wasn't easy. He got there. He had struggling in the beginning, overcame and became a great champion. It is definitely a guy that I look up to. And
Inspirational.
For me, it's an honor to fight him, an honor that I like. I'm going to go in there and make it a wild fight.
That's got to be like kind of a
Idols
dream come
become
true.
rivals.
Yeah. Idols become
rivals.
What's that like,
that's
man?
when you know. That's when you know you're on the right path. You know what I mean? That's when you know you're doing things right. When people you're looking up to become your rivals,
Your peers.
That's exactly.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's really. Was there any like when the fight was made? Was there any like wow?
Any trepidation you mean, or
that's
like
cool,
or
man.
like surrealness?
It was, maybe surrealness was like, man. Nice.
Nice.
To fight these guys, I'm
Wow.
gonna fight these guys.
You're headlining the UFC, man.
Yes.
It's fucking beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Beautiful thing.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys.
And now we have
Now for the main event.
one last task
The
for
main
you.
event.
One last
All right.
task for you. the only way for
I need
Christian,
this.
you can't if you run into one of your favorite MMA
Look,
fighters.
Look. Oh, here, right
Yeah.
there.
Right there.
No.
Yeah, the equalizers. The old equalizers.
The belt buckle.
Yeah. The only way, don't ask these guys for a selfie. Don't ask these guys for an autograph. Ask them for a liver shot. That's the way to show some real love here. So Christian, come on out, buddy.
Let's go, baby.
And for
Let's
the
go,
audience, for the audience at home, for
You're
the
welcome.
audience
You're
that
welcome.
is for anybody that is wondering, I am taking the Brazilian in this fight.
I'm going Brazilian too.
I think so. Are we ready?
Let's go.
Or you want to put him up front up here?
Let's do the same way that we did last time. Are we gonna have him mic'd up at all?
Yeah. Yeah, we want to hear that impact. Oh yeah, bring that one around. All right,
No
Christian.
gloves or gloves?
Oh, there's gloves over there if you want.
What do you want? Gloves?
Sorry, bare knuckle it is.
Look better on this side.
Tap out, Christian. Tap out. Tap out, Christian.
Hey, is this in your way? Put it by his liver.
Gotta
Oh
be a
yeah.
liver shot.
Should he put the arms up or don't? Hey, if you go, don't you dare slide that arm in front of that liver, buddy.
I'm not doing.
You better man up right now. Your boy Ben manned up. Yeah.
Wait, wait, wait. So
And,
are we-
and close your eyes.
Oh no, you can't be exposed, right?
Close
Are we
your
gonna
eyes.
expose them?
I don't want to close my eyes.
We should go. Wait.
I know you don't want
wait,
to.
Wait, I think we should go the other side.
wanna
Either
get
that
ready
or
to
Ben.
catch
Why
me
don't
if
you
I
come over
drop?
here so we can get the angle from both sides, and we'll this way you
Yeah.
can record it from this side. And for the good people at home, they can. Why don't I just in case you pass out?
Say a little consent.
A little bit forward, right
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Can,
Hey,
we
can you look into the
and
camera and
say,
consent?
I consent to this.
I am of sound body and mind.
I'm a sound body and mind. I consent to this.
Have you been drinking today?
Hope I don't break a rib.
Okay. I hope you knock.
Fingers
the
crossed. Hands up. Hands up, eyes closed, Christian.
Hey, you want me to tell you when I'm gonna go?
Close those eyes. Talk.
I got you.
Can you talk? Can you talk? Can you talk? Get over there.
It was like 60%.
Oh, 60%.
70%.
Oh, yeah. He's getting a little pale.
He's okay.
He
gets one.
Your rib is
Can you
good.
talk? Hey, how do you feel? Talk. No, stay in here. Talk.
I can barely talk.
Yeah? What do you think? What does it feel like?
I think his rib is good.
I think the rib's okay.
I think it was
Ribs
the liver.
fine.
Yeah, no, it's a liver shot.
Dude, I couldn't even talk.
He's still not really talk. He's looking a little pale.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
crazy.
Bro, you gotta eat some meat, too.
Way to fucking go. Way to go, kid.
I don't know. I think this is perfect. I
What,
think the reaction.
what was better, this or the darts? I think the darts would have been less
I don't want the
painful.
dog. Less painful,
Come
but
on, you
I
get
don't-
to
I'm
sit
not
in
going
front
to
of
sleep.
Hey, you get to come in for a sec.
Chris, you gotta sit
Come on,
down.
Christian. Fuck.
Hop up in. Well done, boy.
Boy, that was a thunderclap. Here, come back over here. Come back over here.
Oh, that fucking hurt, bro.
Yeah, we gotta get the post fight.
I'm sure my
But you're good.
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
fine.
You're good.
It didn't land on the rib. It just.
You wanna see?
Yeah.
You wanna see,
Liver,
buddy?
bro.
Wanna see?
Nah, it's standing
I'm
me. It's
cool.
standing me.
What are we doing?
Wow.
We're just gonna do a little post fight and then we're out of here. We're just gonna talk about it.
Do I stay up or not?
Nah, you can sit.
No, you can
Here,
sit.
slide his mic. Man, I really hope you did a good job on the camera because the face after that was tremendous.
I literally was trying to talk. I couldn't even talk. I literally couldn't talk.
Look
I was
at
gonna be like, I was gonna be like, fuck that. Nah.
You couldn't.
I was
You were
worried for a
trying to-
little
Hey,
bit.
but you're doing okay now. This is why we need a 10 count in MMA, guys.
Yes.
We need a 10 count in MMA. He's fine now.
You had to
I needed,
carry
like-
him and put him on the couch.
G put him in a cradled
Put him
him
on the
over there.
couch.
He put him in the couch.
That's the one time when a man has held me. I was like, cool with that.
It's soft, right? It was soft. It was
Yeah, he's
gentle.
like,
It was
"Come here.
caressing.
Come here. I felt like I was in the hospital, bro.
For a minute, I thought he was gonna go out of a body shot.
I thought he was gonna
no.
pass out for a
Yeah.
second too.
No,
so
I-
looking a
I
little
would
pale.
never- come on,
He had
I
a
would
little bit
never
of
pass
vomit
out.
on his face.
Come on,
I'm
bro.
from Cleveland, bitch. I don't. Yeah.
But I'm craving a burger, guys.
Nice.
Let's go.
Well done.
maybe after Vicente's victory, he'll make you
will.
some meat, a burger or something.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I gotta tell you, man, if you took a shot from him, it's about time to get back in the amateurs. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I think
Beat
so.
the 10 count, so.
Did I? Nah,
I don't think so.
I
No?
feel like that was like a 20 count.
Okay.
Ah, he's
Good.
fine. Get him back out there.
You all right? Hey, like,
Thank
can we,
you. Appreciate it, man.
For,
Appreciate
for
it.
2 reasons. Can we lift up the shirt? You get to show off those abs. We got a little
Hey.
mark here.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Some steel right there, baby. Is your hand okay, Vicente?
Yeah, my hand is 100%.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's all. That's all I'm really worried
Yeah,
about.
we were gonna have Christian hit you back, but UFC said, "Are you out of your fucking mind?"
Then Christian's gonna break his hand.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you,
Cool.
Christian.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
You're the
you.
fucking man.
Christian, got anything to say about it? Would you recommend that?
Nah, I probably wouldn't prescribe or recommend that.
Yeah. What was the
I
experience?
don't think
there?
anything's broken. We're
Yep.
good. Dude, it was takes the air out of you. I've been dropped by body shots before. That was the hardest one because I just stood there and fucking put my hands up.
How hard did you
But
swing? You figure? In all honesty, how hard?
Honestly, like 70%.
That was 70%.
That was a hard fucking shot, dude. That was a hard shot. That's the hardest body shot I ever took.
I didn't go soft because you said that you fought already, but
Yeah.
also I didn't go as hard as I could, just because I was
it
concerned.
hurts,
I
though.
didn't want to break your rib.
Yeah.
It might be.
You don't want to break
It
those
might be.
feeble vegan bones.
Come on.
I don't want to be a jerk, but I've seen the guy in action.
Yeah, I've seen
Close
him in
to
action too.
40%.
Oh yeah.
It was close to 40. Hey,
Cool.
good for you,
Thanks,
man.
guys.
Good
All
for
right,
you. Good for you.
Thank you, Christian. Great job. You're the man.
The human body bag, Christian.
You've been
Perello.
asking to get Vicente in here.
Been asking, bro.
Now
Been
you're
asking.
Now he's
So
here.
now we know.
Here.
Now he's
Now
here.
I don't want him to come back.
Get out. Get out. Yeah, that's awesome, man. This is
Bring us out, Big G.
Vicente, can't thank you enough for coming in, man. Can't wait to see you kick some ass in 2 weeks. Thank you for the picks.
Yeah,
really,
my
really
brother.
awesome job,
Thank
man.
you.
For Natalie back at Gas Digital, for Ben Castro, for Kristen Perello here at Podcast Junkies, for the great one, Mickey Gall. I am Gerard Michaels.
My brother.
This
Thank
has
you, brother.
been Slick and
Thank
Thick.
you.
Enjoy the
Appreciate
rest of Gas Digital. And by the way, share this video with a friend. And if they want to check out Gas Digital for free, they can use the code SNT30. SNT30 for 30 free days at Gas
30
Digital.
free days this month.
That's
30
right.
free days. Get on that. Give it
Get
a try.
on it.
Why not?
Give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
Enjoy the rest of Gas Digital. We will see you guys Monday at 2 o'clock. Peace.
Peace.